Hello, everyone. I'm James Milan. Welcome to this DPCD update. I am speaking, as usual, with the acting director of our Department of Planning and Community Development, Kelly Lynema. Kelly, hi.
Hi, James. How are you?
I'm good. I'm in an air-conditioned studio, so I'm very good.
Same
Uh,
here.
yes, hopefully the AC is working in your office as well. So today we want to talk. We have several kind of items to get updates around things that we've talked about before. Electrify Arlington, we'll find out about. We'll find out about the Arlington Center Sidewalk Project, the completion and the ribbon cutting to go with that. A little update on the Mass Ave Appleton Street intersection and what's going on there. But let us start, please, with the Affordable Housing Trust. This, again, is a topic that we have hit on, relatively regularly, but that's what these updates are all about, to get a sense of what the latest developments are with these different projects. So can you just bring us up to date on the Affordable Housing Trust?
Sure. So the Affordable Housing Trust, just as a reminder, the trust was established by town meeting for the purpose of creating and preserving affordable housing. And so this is an organization, a board in town that is able to act on real estate opportunities as they arise instead of having to go before town meeting every time. But in order to do that, the trust wanted to create an action plan and have that be a community-informed plan. So if you remember, back in June, the trust released an affordable housing survey, and we got more than 800 responses to that, but we wanted to share the results of that survey. So next week, Thursday at 7:00 p.m., we have a virtual meeting scheduled. And that meeting will have two components. The first will be where the trustees report out on the results of the survey, so that people can hear what we heard. And then it'll be, the other half of the meeting will be just a general public listening session so that trustees can listen to communities' thoughts about affordable housing. But on top of that, the other thing that the trust has done is that we've scheduled a series of equitable listening sessions over the next couple of weeks. So what we want to do with these listening sessions is really reach out to communities and individuals who don't normally come to public meetings like the one that we're having next Thursday. So we have a couple of focus groups that are scheduled. We have sessions for young people, people under 35, seniors, individuals who live in affordable housing, people of color, people who rent, and individuals with disabilities, so that we can hear from members of each of those individual groups, their thoughts about affordable housing, any challenges they have in finding affordable housing, and what kind of affordable housing they would like to see in town. So we have that schedule. It's going to be posted now at tinyurl.com/ArlingtonAH, and we'll probably show that on the screen. And those focus groups, as I mentioned, are scheduled for the end of July and into August.
All right, so clearly those focus groups show what a kind of comprehensive effort to get public input is going on here. That's great. Let's just remind folks, because this is what happens with these updates. We have to attach dates as well. So next
Yes.
Thursday, the meeting that you're talking about, that's going to be July 28th, right?
Correct. July 28th at 7:00 p.m. virtual meeting.
All right, great. So let's move on and talk about the Arlington Center Sidewalk Project. We just had a ribbon cutting earlier this week. Tell us what's going on.
Sure. So on Tuesday, through the wonderful skills of Joan Roman, we were able to pull together a ribbon cutting. We had more than 50 folks who joined us to celebrate the reopening of Broadway Plaza. Broadway Plaza has been under construction for quite a while, and this project has been sort of in the pipeline for even longer. So back in 2019, DPCD worked with DPW, a lot of D's there, and we hired a consultant, VHB, to help us think about how to redesign the plaza to make it more of a publicly shared open space. We did a public meeting, we had a couple of surveys, and we really invited people to share what they wanted to see in the plaza as part of the redesign. And then over the last year, Mike Rademacher, the director of DPW, he worked with the MWRA to complete the construction of that project. So we had this ribbon cutting, and it was partially to acknowledge all of the folks who worked on the project, all of the contractors and the individual consultants, and to really thank the businesses for their patience and during this period of construction, which turned out to be pretty long. but now we have this brand new plaza, and it has, it's open for public seating, for dining, for performances, for public art and gatherings. And what I'm excited to share is that the Arlington Commission for Arts and Culture is now holding a Live Arts Arlington series. So this is a performance series that's already begun. It's every Friday night at 6:00 p.m. And the ACAC has arranged for performers and musicians to put on free concerts and free shows on the plaza every Friday night. So please bring out a chair, hang out, enjoy local musicians at your next Friday night.
That's great. Yes, excellent way to kind of inaugurate this new public space by, giving people a really great reason to come and hang out there, as you said. So we look forward to seeing others and perhaps you and me there on a Friday night in what remains of the summer. That sounds great. So I juggled topics a little bit on you, and you responded beautifully. But we're going to go back and talk about Electrify Arlington, please. Just give us an update on what is going on. This is clearly a long-term project, but
Yes.
there have been some new developments, I think, for you to share.
Yeah, so we have a new page on the town website. It's arlingtonma.gov/electrify. Talia Fox, who's our sustainability manager, is working on the implementation of the Net Zero Action Plan. And as a reminder, that plan, it's oriented to try to achieve net zero greenhouse gas emissions by 2050. Electrify Arlington is one of the key recommendations of that plan. It's a community-wide campaign to try to eliminate greenhouse gas emissions, and those are the pollutants that cause climate change. The goal of the campaign is to encourage residents to power their buildings, their homes, their apartments, and transportation in Arlington with clean electricity in order to achieve those net zero greenhouse gas emissions. The campaign is going to help connect residents with existing programs and rebates and incentives to help them head down that road on electrification. Talia is currently working with a number of coaches. These are volunteers who are signing up to help guide residents through this sometimes complicated process of choosing providers and figuring out how they can electrify their homes. And then later this fall, we'll be announcing the program and inviting residents to sign up to work with a coach and identify ways that they can either improve the efficiency of their home or start to think about electrification projects. And so this will apply whether you rent your home or you own your home, or if you're a landlord or a business in town. These are all things that any individual can do in order to help us achieve those goals for net zero emissions.
And boy, did you ever pick a good week to remind us about the importance of net zero by 2050, because we're just a couple of days into a serious baking that we're all taking here in mid-July. So one more topic to discuss, and it again is something that we've talked about a number of occasions because it's really of great interest to the community, both in terms of safety and in terms of accessibility, and that is what is happening at the Mass Ave Appleton Street intersection. So you have news on that.
Yeah, so we had a public meeting, an in-person public meeting, one of our first ones in a long time. It was sort of an open house to get people's ideas for how to improve this intersection and the area around it. So we're really thinking about the area in Mass Ave, kind of between the Myrick Hyundai all the way up into Arlington Heights. We're looking at safety and accessibility improvements for this section of the corridor. And even if people couldn't attend that public meeting, or they weren't around, or they don't feel comfortable doing a public meeting yet, we have opportunities for people to share their feedback through the end of July. So three big areas. We have a Google form where people can submit their comments. We have what's called a mural board, and this is a series of maps where people can put their mark on a map digitally and indicate where they would like to see improvements or where they have concerns. And then we also have boards up at the Robbins Library. So if you're visiting the library, we have boards up in the main area, and you can put sticky notes on, you can indicate kind of where you would like to see some improvements. And all of those opportunities to engage will be available through the end of this month, through July 31.
Great. It is a shame, as you have reminded us as well, it's a shame that all of this was precipitated by a tragic death of a bicyclist at this intersection. But it clearly is an extremely popular and well-trafficked intersection here in Arlington, not far from ACMi. We have all been in our cars, on our feet, and on our bikes through that intersection various times. So it's great to hear again that things are moving in the right direction to make sure that nothing terrible happens again, but also that you're expanding the look of that to give people an opportunity for input around other areas perhaps. So sounds good. Anything that we have missed?
I think just one last note, the MBTA, I think we've talked about in the past, the MBTA is doing their Better Bus project, and they have those draft bus network redesign maps that are out right now. The public comment period on those closes at the end of this month. And so the MBTA is holding one final virtual system-wide public hearing next week, Tuesday, July 26th at 6:00 p.m. And that is available to anyone to share their feedback on the bus network redesign. Please get those comments in by the end of the month. And then it looks like the MBTA will be coming back later this fall in October or November with a redesigned bus network map for people to take a look at.
Okay, thank you very much. You know, Kelly, I can't let you go without acknowledging a fact that I've noticed, and maybe others who've tuned into these latest DPCD updates might have as well. And that is, you're still less than a handful of DPCD updates under your belt, and yet you seem like a seasoned pro already. So thanks for getting so much information out so succinctly. We appreciate it, and we look forward to doing so again with you in the near future.
Thank you, James. I always appreciate this time to talk with you and catch you up on what's going on in our department.
Absolutely, and we will do so again soon. And until then, we wish Kelly a really good summer and some excellent air conditioning. And we thank her for her time. We thank you for yours as well. This has been the DPCD Update. I'm James Milan. Thanks so much for joining us, and we will see you next time.